starting this and we, as they say in our country, are live. I like this new camera. So anyway, hello everyone. Awesome. Welcome to the Crafty Boys, episode 161. Yes, I had to double check. How's it going? We're okay. We have a beer this week. Sadly, we all were not able to get it because the beer that we did originally choose, or Alan chose for us, was a root beer dunkel that we could not find anywhere. And then Alan looked at the reviews and said it wasn't that good. So, well, yeah. So we're okay there. We dodged a bullet. Or actually, sorry, Dave and I dodged a bullet. Alan, you're going to enjoy it and give it an honest review today. But the beer that was chosen instead was this by category 12, called the Havarti the Harvest Sour with Brett and local black currants. If anyone knows here what a currant is, let me know. No, kidding. Category 12 is, of course, just north of Victoria, sort of between Victoria and Sydney, BC. And local black currants, meaning there are currants somewhere grown on the island.
Yes, actually from Silverrill.
What he said. Who's Silverrill?
Silverrill Berry Farm. So Silverrill is famous in Victoria and the Lower Island, actually, for its corn in the summer. You can go out to Silverrill Farms and buy corn direct from the farm, and it is the best corn you've ever had. So, but apparently, and I didn't realize this, Silverrill also has berries, more specifically black currants, and that is specifically what is used in this Harvest Sour by category 12.
Cool.
Nice.
So I tell you what, why don't you guys open up the beer? Now, I'll say that I have had this before, actually within the past few days. So even though I don't have it here right now, I do feel qualified to be able to comment on it.
Okay. All right. Then the Bearimicus is going into action, opening up the Harvest Sour. Initial smell. Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Wait till you pour it.
Smell it from here.
Wow. Okay. That is a...
Holy cow.
They weren't messing around when they said it was a sour. A peanut gallery.
Well, the color on this is insane.
It looks like grape juice. This is a beer?
Yeah.
It's a bright red, almost a blood red.
Unfiltered grape juice is what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Give it a bit of a taste.
Giving it a bit of a smell.
Even the head is it's a red head.
Yeah. You get about one finger of head on the pour, and the lacing is not too bad. It's kind of sticks around for a little bit.
Mine is not sticking around that much.
Nope, mine isn't either.
What do you think, Dave?
I like it.
Alan, he likes it. He hates everything. I don't mind it at all. I was actually expecting it to be a lot more sour than it is.
You know what? It's
actually quite tasty.
It's not the most tart beer that we've ever had, but it's almost like it tastes like fruit juice, like berry juice. You know what I'm saying? So it has sort of like that bit of a tartness that you would expect to find from berry juice, and it doesn't really taste like a beer, in my opinion.
No, it's kind of what's the word? Well, it's good. I can't complain, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna have to have some more.
Yeah, I can see this growing on me, actually. Initial impressions were not super, you know.
Oh, really?
Thumbs uppy, but not bad.
Oh, why is that?
The sour, like the literal sourness. I wasn't.
You
really
thought it was too sour or not sour enough?
2.
Oh, really?
It was a little, yeah. I mean, I'm not a sour kind of guy. Well, some people might disagree with that, but you know, yeah, normally I'm not gonna go for something like this, but it's nice. And you do kind of get used to the level of sour.
Right.
And it is very juicy. I think that's just how I would put it. It's juicy. You could put this back without thinking too much.
Well, and that's just it, right? I mean, it's not all that heavy. You could suck it back pretty easily. It's very drinkable.
No.
It's not so sour that it's going to impede the drinkability of it, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving it a thumbs up.
Super heavy.
Ow! And I just smashed my thumb on my table. Ah, that was really painful. This beer is really potent. Be careful.
Now, for me, I'm drinking from Stanley Park Brewing.
I forgot you were drinking something completely different.
Yeah. The root beer Dunkel. There's the label. Only 680 bottles of this were made. And just reading the tasting notes here. It's an interesting flavor. Let me comment on that first. Immediately when you open up the bottle, you get the aroma. It's almost like a medicine-y kind of aroma, really? Which I find happens with some alcoholic root beer drinks that I've had. You know, like the kinds where, what is it? What's that? That hard root beer. They make like Mike's Hard Root Beer or something.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You pop it open and it doesn't smell like root beer exactly. You kind of get this medicine-y kind of flavor and aroma going on. Well, the same thing is happening with this. Upon tasting it, I'm not really detecting a flavor of root beer. I'm getting actually a flavor of bubblegum. Which is interesting. Sort of like, you know, like you remember that kind of bubble gum that would be found, you know, if you bought a pack of hockey cards and it would include a stick of this dried out bubble gum that if you ate it would like, you know, like crack your teeth and all that kind of stuff.
That's
what it tastes like, that stuff.
It's interesting to say that because there are times where I have taken that kind of gum, you know, that stuff, and I've bit it like, you know, this way, and rather than this, I don't know what this,
and it just jabs you right in the gums, and like, you know, it's like it may as well be a scalpel, like an X-Acto knife. They should pack an X-Acto knife in those things because that would do less damage than the gum. But anyway, so after tasting
comics with them, though,
this tastes like bubble gum. I'm looking at the tasting notes. And it says a big hit of root beer flavor from the combination of 10 different roots, barks, and spices plays perfectly with the bubblegum aromatics from Bavarian Hefeweizen yeast. A nice vanilla finish ties this unique brew all together. So that's interesting. It says bubblegum aromatics. I'm not detecting an aroma of bubblegum. I'm detecting a flavor of bubblegum.
But not root beer.
But not root beer in the traditional sense. Now, there's different ways to make root beer. And to be fair, a lot of the root beer that we've had growing up isn't real root beer. It's root beer flavoring. It's artificial flavoring. It's what we've had.
True.
I've actually never had a real root beer.
Really?
So I kind of wonder if maybe this is how real root beer tastes like.
Now, what is real root beer?
So real root beer is, well, it's a concoction of several different roots, including, you know, like sarsaparilla and all that kind of stuff. And they put it all together, and with some cane sugar, they brew it, let it ferment for about a week, and then you've got your root beer. Actually, it's pretty easy to make at home, albeit a bit expensive for what you're getting. It's just, you're just better off just to go buy something from the grocery store, you know.
Okay. Dave, what do you think? Overall, this beer that you're drinking right now this evening.
I like it. I'm not sure that I would usually be getting this for myself, but it's interesting flavor. That's the thing that's been kind of cool for me doing this podcast, because I think everybody, you know, all 2 listeners at this point, know that I'm not really a beer guy. I'm sort of the token non-beer person here. And thing is, though, that I really appreciate the I don't know, the microbrews, the small brewery stuff, the stuff that has more going on than, you know, your big brewery kind of always on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So even though it might not be my thing, I enjoy it because it's actually got real flavor. You know what I mean? There's stuff going on.
Okay.
It's not just kind of water that's had a bit of stuff thrown into it and pushed through the vats for a few days and call it good, you know.
It kind of sounds like there's some sort of like a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for, like a large sort of conglomerate conspiracy going on where it's like, hey, gotta push that beer through the vats. If we don't, we're in trouble. Like, I don't know. It just, to me, that's the image that pops into my mind of how crazy we all are. So, or something to that effect.
There could be something to that, because, I mean, if you think about it, how many craft breweries are there in BC right now? Hundreds.
Oh my God.
There's got to be.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Or let's say dozens.
Okay.
Dozens. Okay. And each of them is trying to gain a little bit of market share. So if you've got this one brewery over here that's putting out a specialty beer every 3 months, well, then there's a little bit of pressure on everybody else to do the same. Right?
Are you saying that they're not cleaning the vats as often as they should?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there could be a little bit of rushing going on to try to keep up with the Joneses. Not suggesting anybody's cutting corners at all, but there is, you know, maybe a bit of a hurriedness in the way that they brew the beer.
Well, I quite honestly don't think that's a terrible thing. I mean, that's. I mean, with any business, you're going to have some sort of time. There will be times where you have to rush through, and unfortunately, I don't know. Does that happen enough, or does that happen enough? Does it happen in a way that could endanger the people actually consuming the product if they are cutting corners and racing through things? Something tells me in the beer world, no. I mean, if you drink Molson Canadian, sorry, just threw up a little bit. Then you're not necessarily, you're probably never going to run into a rushed batch, because they blend a lot of their beer, right? They make the batches to what they want, but if they don't taste right, then they blend it with a batch. I don't know what they're called, but apparently there's a thing where there's a process where they have a batch that is the beer. Essentially, this is the standard that we are going for, and if it doesn't match, then they blend it so that it makes the beer taste correct. So, yeah. So supposedly, so I mean, you're not going to screw up too many times that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Something
so
like
just
that?
I just want to give one final note on this root beer dunkel from Stanley Park Brewing. Kudos to Stanley Park Brewing for trying something a little bit different. I don't know that this one works. It's an interesting beer though, and I appreciate their adventurous side to try something a little bit different, and I suggest that they keep up with it, but I would not purchase this one again.
Okay. You were going to say, Dave?
Well, I'm kind of bummed because I would have liked to try it, but I mean, given Alan's report, I'm not so sure it matters.
I'm kind of disappointed because I really want to. I for some reason have a desire for drinking a root beer right now.
You know, there's something wholesome about root beer, right? I don't know what it is, but it's anytime I see anything to do with root beer, I want it. Dairy Queen for years had a root beer milkshake that you could get, and I had to have it. And it was so good. They don't make it anymore, but it was so good. Root beer beers, alcoholic root beers. Actually, you remember Hires root beer?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So Hires root beer hasn't been around in a long time, but
is it gone?
Well, Hires root beer was replaced by Barks in Canada years and years ago. Yeah. So you couldn't buy Hires root beer since like I think the early 90s. But
and now with their Barks.
Now they've come back with an alcoholic root beer, which is available at BC liquor stores.
I did actually see that recently. Yeah.
It is amazing. It tastes just like regular root beer. It doesn't have that medicine-y kind of flavor. It's not a root beer that's had alcohol added to it, or maybe it is, but it tastes like a Hires root beer that I had when I was, 10 years old. Just, it makes you a little bit goofy.
I'm having a root beer. Good. Yes, it's so good. Plain root beer.
In fact, what I would love to do is to get one of those Hires root beers and add some vanilla ice cream to it and make a float.
I gotta say that float episode we did a little while back is the bomb. The bomb.
I kind of wonder if this might taste better with some vanilla ice cream.
Do it right now. If you got some,
I don't have any vanilla ice cream.
That's too bad.
There's a lot of guys on my truck now that are pretty sharp.
I gotta say that I'm particularly enjoying this beer.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, in beer news this week, I did actually have a link. Let me find it. I bookmarked it. No, it's here. Because I always get all of my news by searching Google with the word beer.
Yeah, me too.
Where is it? Here we go. There's a guy in Ontario who has 9,500 beer cans in his collection.
Wow.
Now, do you guys collect beer cans?
No.
Not at all.
Let me take a shot in the dark here. Is this guy married? I'm betting he's not.
That's a very good question. I think so.
I'm betting he's single.
His wife is asked what his wife thinks of the hobby, and she said she loves it. She said she loves it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Then he corrects himself. I wouldn't say she loves it. She tolerates it. Now, this is the thing. I don't collect very many things. I used to be a real hardcore collector of stuff, just random things. I used to collect rocks from the beach. Like every time I went to a beach, I'd grab a rock that I thought was pretty, and then I would keep it. And I returned those to the ocean many years ago. Right. But the thing that in his collection is the Dawn. Now, I had no idea this existed, but apparently Molson Canadian had a series of Dawn cherry cans, which have drawings of different suits that he's worn.
Yeah, I remember those.
So when did those come out? How long ago was that?
Oh, that wasn't all that long ago. I mean, we're talking within the past, half dozen years, I think.
Unreal, like totally awesome, because there's a whole bunch of those in his collection. There's also a bunch of beer cans from before the pull tab to open days that I think are really kind of pretty. They're in his collection. They're kind of gibbled up, but there's a bunch of cans from the 1940s that I think are just so cool. Really neat to have those come back. Just
so how did they open those cans back then?
Those were I want to say the cork top, but it wasn't. It was like almost like a pop top. Sort of. It was kind of like a very large. Here we go. So something about twice the size of a typical beer can that we have today. So yeah, I gotta say I'm kind of impressed with that guy's collection. Do you guys collect anything kind of weird?
Yes.
Okay, what do you collect there, Dave? For not saying a word. Like anything. Do you collect anything? It doesn't have to be weird. It's just like, do you collect something that gives you, smiles and giggles?
Well, I haven't done this in a long time. That's why I'm kind of like, but I do have a small comic book collection.
But what else?
I guess I've got a small collection of fountain pens.
Really?
That's
this is what's on my desk right now: pens and pencils. I don't know. It's. What about you, Alan? What do you collect?
Well, I have a rather large, I'm ashamed to say, collection of action figures.
What's wrong with that?
Well, it's large, and they're in boxes, and I need to get rid of them. I really do.
Why?
Because they take up a lot of space, and they just kind of sit in the box, and that's it. And these are like not even like really, really old. These are like ones from like the 90s and stuff. So like Star Trek, Star Wars, and even some from The Simpsons.
Really?
And I bought all this stuff before I had kids, and then when kids came along, obviously I didn't have the money to keep going with it, and I still have all those things, and I should probably get rid of them because I haven't really looked at them in a very long time.
You could sell them on eBay.
For probably like 2 cents each or something. Nobody buys anything on eBay. Come on.
What are you talking about? Tons of people do. Okay,
really?
Give me
well, not Star Wars action figures.
eBay. Give me a Star Wars action figure that you have that you'd sell right now.
Okay, so I have from the Power of the Force 2 collection. It is an orange carded Darth Vader with the long saber.
Okay, let's see. Power of the Force 2 by Kenner. Carbonite
orange card Vader with the long
Darth
saber.
Vader. Let's see. Oh, actually, I should probably put Darth Vader. Search for Darth Vader.
It's important to say long saber.
Well, here, let me go Darth Vader long saber.
Yeah.
Red card.
Red card,
orange.
yeah.
I think it's an orange card.
Well, orange, red. It's an orangey red.
All right, here we go. Power of the Force. Orange card. Long saber. looks like the orange saber, the long saber with orange card Darth Vader from Kenner is selling for about $20.
Oh, all right.
Some of them look like they're selling for like 25. What's the difference between the red and orange card? Red, orange card? Holy crap.
It's the same thing. It's some people call it orange, some people call it red. It's kind of a reddy orange.
Star Wars Power of the Force, red orange card, Darth Vader with long lightsaber, $130.
Oh, there you go, Alan.
Mm-hmm.
What is the difference between that one and this one?
Okay, so what they did is when Kenner started making action figures, Star Wars action figures again in like the mid-90s, they made Ben Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, and Darth Vader with these long lightsabers in the package. And soon after production started, that I guess they wanted to save money on plastic or something. So they started making the sabers shorter. And so it's more common to find the ones with the short saber than it is the long saber. I have the ones with the long saber.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What year what year did yours come out in?
Oh, it was mid-90s. I don't remember the exact year.
Okay.
Before I had kids anyway. Kids screw up everything. Did you know that?
Kids suck.
You guys out there do not have kids. As my kid is in the background.
That's like, my dad hates me. You didn't
I'm not paying for your therapy.
I'm not paying for your therapy. Damn kids. Let's bounce into your IHOP story, Alan, that you sent out here.
Hey, okay, so this is, and you know what? I wouldn't normally call out an article like this, but I thought it was so cool. So IHOP, the International House of Pancakes, has come out with a beer, and it's called IHOPs, which I think is just fantastic. That's a fantastic name. Now, I don't think the International House of Pancakes is actually making this beer and putting it out. Apparently, they've partnered with New York-based Keegan Ales, and it is a pumpkin pancake stout, and it's called IHOP. So it's almost like a licensing kind of deal, but still. So this stout is made with IHOP's buttermilk pancake batter. And I think I would love to try that if it was available here. And I don't think it is. Now, interestingly, it's not going to be sold in IHOP restaurants, so I don't know where you can get it. But
yeah, I don't think IHOP restaurants are licensed anywhere, so it would be kind of a pain in the ass for them to try and do that.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be available at a few New York area events and tap houses, only available until October 28th.
I think it's more of like a marketing gimmick, but still, I mean, it's just so fitting, like IHOP to IHOPs. That's
I don't mind it. I mean, the whole thing.
Awesome.
I mean, when is the last time any of us went to an IHOP? I mean, really?
I've never. Well, I mean, I've been to Smitty's. I haven't been to a Smitty's in years and years and years.
What about you, Dave?
But I've never been to an IHOP.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to think if I've ever been to an IHOP myself. I don't think I have. Smitty's, yeah.
Well,
Smitty's is the Canadian IHOP, and that's the one that I always went to.
Yeah, I've only been to IHOP once, out in Richmond, BC, many, many years ago, because I use IHOP as the punishment for the peanut gallery. When the peanut gallery acts up and is unreasonable and needs to be punished, she has to have a Rudy. What is it called? The Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity. Hey, peanut gallery, I'm taking you to IHOP.
Denny's.
Would you like to go to the IHOP? No, don't make me go to IHOP. Sorry, a Denny's. Denny's actually. Well, I can't say that Denny's has amazing food, but I've been there a few times and I don't mind it so much. But
I've never eaten at a Denny's.
But you know, usually it's when I've been traveling somewhere and it's a safe bet. You know, it's like, will I go to the weird local vegan restaurant or will I go to the Denny's? Well, I'm going to Denny's. I bring up vegan restaurants because the Peanut Gallery was traveling with a client of ours a little while ago in Europe, and the place that they were being put up by the people who invited them there gave them free like tickets to go get food at the next door to the hotel vegan restaurant. The Peanut Gallery was very unhappy. But anyway, there was nothing short of the really sad face and grumpiness. But anyway, on that note, boys and girls, our episodes are getting shorter because we've promised. Any final words there, boys and girls?
Keep trying, Stanley Park Brewing. The root beer dunkel didn't work, but go right back to the drawing board.
Just get a new rebrand it. Put a make it into a bubblegum beer, and then it'll be
call it a bubblegum dunkel.
Bubblegum dunkel. Yeah. So thanks for everyone watching. Thank you for the
call it Gretzky rookie card. Bubblegum dunkel.
The toothbreaker.
The toothbreaker.
Bazooka bubbles.
The bazooka bubbles. Oh my god. That takes me back. All right. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next week with the next beer that'll go under the analytic eyeballs that are ours and something. I don't know, man. I just work here. And as always, Alan, take us out.
All right, I was trying to hear okay, here we go.